Hello, everybody. My name is Tim Alfredo, and welcome to Chat Desk Unplugged, education and English language learning in Mozambique, a country with a population of over 30 million people and with an English proficiency rate of less than 10%. We always keep asking this big question. What happens to students learning English in Mozambique? What challenges do they face, and how can we make it better? And to answer some of those questions, we are privileged to invite different guests on the show to talk about their learning experience, what challenges they face, and what kind of victories and successes they've been able to celebrate, and the takeaways that comes with knowing English. Now, today I have a very special guest who's writing history in English education right here in Mozambique. He's not just a teacher, he's a mentor. He's a motivator and a true language enthusiast who believes learning English should be as fun as listening to your favorite song or even maybe watching a gripping series. Welcome to the show, Mr. Clayton Boas, also known as Tio Boas. Is that Tio like as an uncle?
Yes.
Oh, so should I just say Uncle Boas? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, please introduce yourself.
My name is Clayton Flippy Boas. I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for 3 years. I teach mostly to elementary levels. Yeah, it's a great experience. Teaching, it's my passion. Yes. Okay. Yes, I enjoy teaching English at all.
Good. Now, let's start with you. Take us to that very first moment when you came in contact with the English language. Did it just, come out of love of the language, or was it a song that inspired you to get into English, or maybe a movie, or maybe you had somebody very close to you who served as an inspiration?
Yeah, in fact, had somebody very close to me was my mom. Okay. She's a great English speaker, although now she's not speaking that much. Mm-hmm. But she used to speak English with us. For example, if we do something wrong, she used to say, "Hey, Clayton, I will beat you." Okay. So like that, she motivated. I used to hear my mom speaking English with us, with the offsprings, in fact. Right. So, and it was really amazing. And I went to school from grade 6. I started having the English as a subject. And it wasn't that much difficult. But when I finished the grade 12, I had nothing to do. I didn't succeed to get to university. So I had to learn something. I went to a private school, but at the moment I was only studying English. And it was really amazing because I quickly learned it and it became a passion. And whenever I was at school with my colleagues, they used to say no, when you are here with us, English is really interesting. So I was forbidden to miss the lessons, and my teacher there started helping me, give me a chance of teaching my colleagues, and it started like that. And I went to teach English through social medias. I had a group that I used to teach English for free, then the group, but in the long run, I just created my own club, my private school. And it started like that. That's a short story.
Amazing story. So your mother sparked that interest of you learning English. So you took it that much serious to a point where you also later on became an inspiration to some of, like you said, some of your classmates, your colleagues in school, because you told me that whenever you would be absent, your colleagues would not feel, they would miss a lot, because then they needed you as an inspiration, because you served as let's say, as this captivating point for them to also be able to learn English. That's very, very much inspiring.
Oh, thanks.
Now, Maputo, that's where you live. Is a city with a mixture of languages. You've got people talking Portuguese, and the majority, I presume they speak Portuguese, and some, like the local languages like Shangan and other languages. How has this interaction with other languages made it difficult for you to get that grip of your English proficiency?
Yes, I guess it wasn't that much difficult because I don't speak that much Shangana. Or I can say that I'm learning now Shangana.
Is it?
Now I'm able to speak a bit Shangana. By that time, our parents used to say, don't speak Shangana here. You don't have to speak Shangana. You have to speak Portuguese. So it was bad because they didn't give value to our native language.
Yeah.
So that is bad. And now, because of church and stuff, I used to learn Shangana, and I'm thinking, I have in my mind that maybe Shangana might be much more delicious than English. Maybe. Yeah, it's good language to speak because I used to translate a church to Portuguese, from Portuguese to Shangana. So that's really amazing. I'm loving now to studying Shangana.
Wow.
It's been interesting.
It is.
But it's challenging.
I mean, I think it's a must that we should be able to at least get some sort of fluency in our native languages.
In fact,
if you think it, Portuguese is not our native languages as such. I would say these are borrowed languages from Europe.
In fact,
like similar to English. So we need to also be looking into valuing, like you say, our tradition.
In fact,
and fighting to each and every day become even more fluent.
And I think that parents should stop with that because they forbid a lot.
But I think that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Now I don't believe that there is any parent who prohibits their children to
yes,
speak.
not that much. But
there are still some, but not all.
But a few. Now a few.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they've come to realize that learning preserving our culture is important.
It's important. It's really important.
Now, take me to your first day of teaching, your first day as a teacher. And I'm speaking about as an English teacher. Now, we all know that just like for any other profession, there's always that fear that comes from where I don't know.
Okay.
Of the fear of your first day of doing something.
Yeah.
When you go to an interview, your first time going to an interview, sometimes it's not as if you're going there for the fourth time, for the fifth time. The first time, it's always
it
brings that,
Yeah.
Tell me about your first day of teaching.
I guess my first day was challenging because my first day at my own club was really challenging to stand in front of people because I knew that there are people waiting me to teach them something.
Okay.
The first day I felt butterflies in my stomach, but I thank God I succeeded. I can't forget the first day because it was real amazing. It was the starting of everything. Yeah, it was real amazing but challenging.
And think about that moment when somebody all of a sudden raises their hand and then you don't know what they're going to say. Sometimes you think, is this guy coming to learn, or maybe he just came here to assess me, to evaluate me if I'm a good teacher or if it's just
And there is something amazing. There's a lesson I used to teach to ask for the meaning. Okay. So that's almost one of the first lessons I teach when they want to ask the meaning of a Portuguese word in English. It was challenging because sometimes they could just ask words that I didn't know.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know them yourself. And how did you approach that?
I had to be sincere and tell my students, no, I don't know the word. We search, tomorrow we'll get. That's also, you can search and I'll search. It's a good word to learn, you see. That's amazing. But there's something amazing that happens. I've been teaching for 3 years. And in the second and the third year, that's this one, they keep asking the same thing. So it's not that much difficult now. Because sometimes it seems like they have the same curiosity. And then I relax, they asked it last year or in the previous year. I relax and I teach them. But there are some students that really ask difficult,
very difficult, unexpected
word.
questions.
Yes.
And I think your approach to those moments, those situations when you don't know the answer to a certain questions, I think it's absolutely amazing and very, very honest, sincere, and highly professional.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be honest and tell your students when you don't know something. I mean, being a teacher does not necessarily mean that you know everything.
Everything, yeah.
And believe me or not, students will find out if you are telling them lies.
Lies,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess it's...
Me, as a student, if you tell me something, I can see it from your face that the teacher is not very sure of what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then because of that, when the lesson ends, I'm going to also conduct my own research.
Okay.
And if I find out that what you said wasn't true, you lose credibility.
Yeah, and by somehow the students sense it. They're able
they
to
do.
say, no, teachers lying. So it's good to be honest, like, I don't know the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that gives you also a chance for you to go and make a research.
In fact,
end
it
up
helps.
learning.
It helps a
Yeah.
lot because you get motivated. Like, no, I don't want to face this difficult next day, so I need to research. In fact.
Okay. You told me that you like bringing some innovations. That's why I said it in my introductory paragraph that you are writing history in terms of the way how you approach teaching. I mean, you use a variety of techniques, using media, podcasts, using songs and movies and all those kind of, like entertaining aspects to motivate your students to learn. Has there ever been like a song that you listened to with your students and made you realize like, wow, English is such a beautiful language?
Yes, I used to listen. For example, when I want to introduce them in music,
okay,
most of my students are young people.
Okay.
So I used to search what are they listening nowadays. For example, I used to play the Perfect by Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
They listen too much to it. They like it. So I used to sense what they like, what are the interests these days. So I used to do it in order to play. For example, now there is a famous music rapper named Dax.
Dax.
It's really good. There is a music, Dear Alcohol is Too Deep. I used to listen with my students. Yeah, and that's been amazing. It's been amazing.
That's good. You mainly teach beginners. You said elementary level beginners.
Okay.
What is the one common myth like you hear around students that they believe to be with first time of learning English, first contact? There are people. There are myths.
Okay.
In most cases, that people believe about being like the challenges in terms of learning English. What do the most people believe that poses challenges in terms of learning English?
The first myth is English is supposed to be difficult.
Okay.
They grab in their mind, they have in mind, so it's going to be difficult if they really believe that it is difficult language.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a great myth that they have got.
That's a preconceived idea.
Yeah.
That English is difficult.
It's difficult. That's bad. Because if you believe something is difficult, it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be actually difficult.
I do believe that. Well, you know what? Let's get into our first segment, which is the etymology quest. Let's have in the intro. Welcome back. Here we are once again having some fantastic interaction with Uncle Boas, dear Boas, right?
Dear Boas, right.
Yeah, we're discussing about his passion for teaching English, especially for young learners. Now, dear Boas, we have this segment, which is the etymology quest. In etymology, we look back at some of the words in English, but we trace back to their origins because some of those words are used in the English vocabulary. However, they are not originally English.
Okay.
So they were borrowed from some other countries. And I have two words for you. I want to see if you can guess. If you know where they are from, that's a must.
I guess it will be challenging.
Yeah. The first one is yet.
Yet. Okay, let me think. Maybe it could be German.
German, it's not. Close, but not.
Close, but not. Maybe French, because
It's not French.
It's not French. Okay.
It's not French.
Let me guess one more time. Say German, French. It might be Arabic.
It's not Arabic. One last chance. One last blow.
Okay, let me try Latin.
It's not Latin. It's from Netherlands. It's
Okay.
a Dutch. It comes from Dutch origin, which means hunt. Originally meant hunt.
Okay.
The term originally referred to light, fast-sailing vessels that the Dutch Republic Navy used to chase, to pursue pirates and other transgressors around and into the shallow waters of the Low Countries.
But when I say German, it's not that close to that.
Yeah. Slightly closer.
Okay.
The next one is, this one is a famous word, potato.
Potato. And I like potatoes,
Okay.
by the way.
That's good.
Okay, let me try. Potato. It might be, let me think, Arabic.
No, it's not.
It's not. Okay.
It's not.
One more guess. Maybe French. French, no.
No, it's not.
Not French. That's really challenging, the potato. And something I like. Not Arabic, not French.
One last guess.
Maybe Italian word.
Spanish.
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 Oh my God.
Yes, this is the Spanish word that is a hybrid of the Taino word meaning batata, which is sweet potato originally, and the Quechua word papa for potatoes. Sweet potatoes were first introduced to Europe and were in cultivation in Spain by mid-16th century and in Virginia by 1648.
Amazing.
Yes. Welcome back into our discussion. We are here with Mr. Uncle Tio Boas. Sorry, I'll keep on saying Tio Uncle.
No problem.
Yeah, we're just multilingual here, just discussing.
No problem.
That's good. It's a pleasure. Now, you, like I said, you use quite a lot of a variety of techniques to teach your classes, and especially the media. What is that secret? Like, how do you watch a series on, let's say, on TV, on the internet, and transform that series into a successful classroom lesson to your students?
First of all, yeah, that's a great question, because you're supposed to search. For example, that's good as a teacher. Start watching a series in English. So sometimes you find expressions that I could teach it to my students. So it's like that when I found out that this could be a great lesson for my students. It happens when I'm listening to music. I saw that this music is really interesting. There's an idiom here that I would like to teach my students. So it's like that. During a moment that in the lesson, I record it, I play it, in fact, and they listen to it. And I used to ask, first of all, are you able to hear at least a word? They listen to it and they write down the words they are capable to hear. So after that, I help them translating, and if there is an idiom, I teach them the idiom there. It's like that, yes.
Wow.
First of all, I need them to use the understanding. They're supposed to hear and see if they're able to hear some words. And when I help them, they say that, no, hey, at least this word was there. Developing my hearing, my listening skills, in fact, sorry. Yeah.
That leads to my next question.
Okay.
Reading and writing are parts of our daily life, just like it's part of the teaching process environment.
In fact, yes.
Which one is harder for your students? Being able to express their thoughts in English or being able to understand a native speaker of English? Are they more able to take their thoughts and be able to express them, expose them out, or they are more able to understand a native speaker? Which one is harder for them?
I guess both harder, but they're able to, mostly when they come the first days, they're able to write.
Okay.
They express their thoughts to write.
In English.
Yes, but to take out what they've got, they might have organized ideas in the mind, but they have difficult to take it out. So I'm there to help them to overcome the fear of taking out words. Because sometimes there are students that are really afraid to speak correct things. Okay, they're really afraid. But they're correct. They're afraid to express, to say something. So I used to help them. But also I'm fighting with the listening skill because they now are listening too much to native people, to music, series, and sometimes speech. Yes, I love to put some speech from TED Talks.
TED Talks.
That's really amazing way also. Was that different speech? So I used to introduce them to native people. Yes.
That's good. Now, one of the things that I know about when it comes to learning a language, and not only a language, especially in general, learning things, confidence, it's one of the most important things. Because without confidence, it's hard for you to move from zero and take the first step. Confidence really speaks a lot, speaks miles. How do you deal or how do you motivate those students who may be shy to express themselves in your classroom? Students who that may be even shy or afraid to even say, hello, my name is, or teacher. And this even leads to people having questions or doubts, but not being able to ask those questions because they are shy to do so. How do you deal with such situations?
Yeah, there are some funny quotes that maybe I created in a sudden I just speak it. I used to tell my student that at Boas English Club is the best place to mistake. You can mistake here because your mistakes are going to be correct. So you don't have to mistake outside. Okay, but here is the best, at Boas English Club is the best place to mistake.
If there's any way where mistakes are fruitful, it's here.
At Boas English Club, you can mistake because they are going, from mistake, going to be like, you're going to know perfectly because I'm going to help you knowing perfectly. And I used to tell my students, because they sometimes face difficulties because when they do not know a word, they would rather speak all the sentence in Portuguese because they know because of a word. So I used to tell them, I would rather speak all the sentence in English, but just that word in Portuguese. So I used to tell them, because they change, no, let me speak in Portuguese because of a word. They knew the structure, because of vocabulary, they're changing to Portuguese. I'd say, no, you must speak. Can I give an example? For example, say, I love my irmão, for example. You don't know what is irmão in English. So say irmão, your colleague, your teacher will help you. So it's the way I used to motivate them, and they start laughing, and they do that, and they learn new vocabulary to that way. It's a way I used to tell the students to go by.
That's good. To minimize that fear of making mistakes.
Of making mistakes.
Wow. And speaking about mistakes, I have a very special segment following. which is the From Blunder to Wonder. Let's have the intro. Welcome back. From Blunder to Wonder, dear boys, From Blunder to Wonder is a segment that celebrates those awkward moments in our learning process, the mistakes you were talking about your students. And I believe you yourself as a teacher or also as a learner of the language, because I understand apart from being a teacher, you're also in the process of learning each and every single day. So throughout this process of learning, you have made many mistakes.
A lot
of them. And believe me or not, some of those mistakes, you did not even know that you were making them. You did not even know that they were mistakes. You probably thought this is correct. So you kept on saying that. It could be in pronunciation, or sometimes it could be in the wrong context of word application. Maybe you're using a certain word in a different or in a wrong context.
And at the time you are grammatically wrong.
Do you remember, do you recall any of that moment specifically when you kept on using certain words for a long time, thinking they were correct, but they were not?
Yes, I bring to my mind. I had difficulty to, first of all, I spoke it normally. I used to say, for example, everyone are. I used to say, everyone are good, everyone are, everyone are. I spoke like that for a long time, but it's where I watch, it's everybody hates Chris.
Yes.
And I got to wonder, like, why it's hate here,
not hate.
But not hate, because it's everyone. It's when I start learning through that series, I learned that it could be hate, because it's supposed to conjugate it in the third grammatical person, singular person. Singular. So I learned from that. And I used to when I start speaking English, I used to go to church. Sometimes I used to say, the Bible say. I repeated that constantly. The Bible say, the Bible says. Well, I'm supposed to say the Bible says.
Yeah, the
God
Bible
loves us. I used to say God loves us. So that was kind of mistakes I used to deal with. And sometimes I must be concentrate because it comes an habit, in fact. So I had to fight and get concentrated. And if I'm speaking about the Bible, I must know that the Bible says and it not say.
Do you remember of any situation where you might have said something and then it created some, let's say, a breach in the misunderstanding, in the communication with someone? Like you say something and then the person had no idea whatsoever what you said because it just didn't make sense.
Yes, I think I can't bring to my mind now, but I remember one day a friend of mine laughed with me because I mistook a word there. So it's not a friend, my colleagues at the time I was studying, they laughed at me, and it was really amazing. But
it wasn't embarrassing for you, it was amazing.
Yes, it was amazing because after that, I faced challenging.
I love the motivation.
Yes, when I faced challenging or someone laughed at me, I used to struggle to learn because I want to show that, no, I mistook, but it doesn't mean I'm a bad speaker. I will improve.
It means I'm in the process.
Yes, for example, those colleagues that laughed at me, in the coming days, I became better than them. Wow. I wasn't fighting with them. I was challenging my own self. I was fighting with my own self to improve my own self, to keep changing my own self. And I became the best student of my class at the time.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. Excellent. So that was our segment From Blunder to Wonder. And I know these can sometimes feel like embarrassing moments, but believe me, these are highlights of milestones in the learning process. It means that you are at least doing something, you are in the process. Otherwise, after all, if you don't make mistakes, how then will you know that you are in the process of learning? So if you can remember of any of similar situations, don't be shy, just send them to us, put them in the comment section. Welcome back. Running towards near the end of our conversation. We still have one more segment to go. When you look at Mozambique, education system, especially where English is concerned, what is the one thing? There are probably plenty of them.
Okay.
What is the one thing that you think, if it could be introduced in the school system, it would change the way how English is being conducted in the school systems? I'm speaking about the public school system, because when you look at it, in most cases, I believe most of your students that you have, they're going through the public school system. However, it just doesn't seem to be that much productive with what they're getting from the public school system. What do you think is lacking?
I guess it's lacking like motivation. For example,
to who? The students or the teachers?
To the students, or from the teacher to the students.
Okay.
Because I guess also started in the public school.
Okay.
I wasn't that much able to speak English when I was a student. But I guess teachers should raise a passion inside the students.
Okay.
But that's lacking, because they are just there to start and have the highest makers and stuff. But teachers should motivate the student by somehow, because English is not effective as a language there at public school. Yeah, they're not teaching. I don't know. I don't know what's lacking, in fact. But I guess motivate them. We must have a motivated teacher so that the students will be motivated. Also. Yeah.
So it works in both ways.
In both ways, in fact.
Okay.
In fact, so teachers should show out the motivation first, so that the students will come motivated to start a language. Okay, and take out that mindset of English being difficult and stuff. Yes.
It's amazing. I believe the teachers have heard you. They need to motivate more the kids.
Okay.
However, the school administration system should also take into consideration motivating the teachers.
Yes.
An unmotivated teacher, not good for the students.
For the students,
Not
in
good.
fact.
It doesn't matter how passionate you are about delivering the best to your students. If you yourself are not motivated, then there is no way you can transfer that energy, positive energy, because I believe energy is transferable.
In fact.
If you are heated with a lot of energy, I can feel or sense that energy. But you are filled with a lot of negative energy, then that is going to obviously pass into me.
In fact.
So motivated teachers equals to motivated students
in
and vice
fact.
versa.
That's real.
That's
real,
great.
yes.
Now, where do you see, now I'm coming back to Mozambique again as a country. Where do you see the place or the position of English language learning in Mozambique in the next 10 years? Now, this is not only referring to in the school system. I'm just talking in general, because not everyone learns English at school. You know that. Where do you see English learning, or where do you see the community of English speakers getting to in Mozambique in the next 10 years?
I guess the community is growing.
Okay.
It might not be through the school system and stuff, but it's growing. So I guess in 10 years, we have a lot of English speakers. And I guess those English speakers will try to look for other language also. Yes, but I guess the community is growing. There are a lot of initiatives from U.S. Embassy, for example. They used to teach it for free. There are some English clubs. There are a lot of people getting into it. So the people will start seeing, but somehow it's real necessary to learn English. I must say it's an obligation, because if you want to be hired, you're supposed to speak English. And the people are sensing it and are having it in their mind. So I guess it's developing, the community is developing, and the people are seeing a developer of English, in fact, and they engaged. There are people that are not going to school nowadays, but they are learning through technology. They can use it to learn and so forth. But I guess it will grow. The community will grow. English will be one of the most spoken language in our country, I guess, in 10 years.
As you were talking, I was kind of building in my brain the next question, but you ended up answering my questions, actually. My pre-question I wanted to ask you. Because I wanted to ask you, should we even be having this conversation? English, is it really necessary that people should speak English? What are the benefits? But you ended up telling me, for employment purposes, English plays a very, very fundamental role. You also talked about the advances in technology, where English is also one of the key elements. The most latest or recent technologies, the futures come in English. And what else?
The books are in English. For example, I was doing management at UM. I had to stop a bit. But the good books to make the
most relevant books for your research.
Yes, for research were in English. You see, so you're supposed to have some basic knowledge about English so that your research will be good. So that's a really fact. Books, a lot of things, even YouTube lessons. There are great YouTube lessons. If you want to learn, for example, I'm learning now graphic design. There are YouTube lessons. When you listen to English teachers, they explain you
the way how the information is delivered.
Yes, it's really effective.
It's much more efficient than when you watch those like Portuguese versions of the same topics or content.
Yeah, because the Brazilian teachers are good when they teach, but sometimes they focus too much in teaching that methodology, and they stop about other things. But when you listen to
when you watch the English version of
it, you get much more knowledge than in Portuguese. Because even the tools, for example, if you're using software like Photoshop, the tools there are in English.
Like the interface, the
interface in English. You might have in Portuguese also, but for example, I can say that isn't that delicious. When you see the interface in English, it's good because the software it's made in English. So that's really easy. Make the process easy. If you want to learn new things, it's easy when you get English. So English, it's really amazing.
Yeah,
I can say like that.
That is good. Well, let's get into our final segment, which is the 5 Favs. Time for the intro. Uncle Boas, sorry.
No problem.
Boas, this is our last segment. In this segment, I'm going to find out from you 5 favorite English-related things. 5.
Okay.
Your favorite English what? Favorite English what? English favorite. So I'm going to ask you those in a moment, one by one. The first one being, what is your favorite, one word, what is your favorite English word?
One word I can say schedule.
Schedule,
because I struggle a lot to pronounce it by the time I was learning. So it becomes my favorite word because I struggle a lot. So,
all right.
Yeah, I used to practice it in the street on my way to school. Like schedule.
But you know that that is the British pronunciation, the schedule.
Schedule.
You know how the Americans pronounce it?
I said maybe it could be schedule.
No, schedule.
You said schedule.
Schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, the British say schedule.
Okay.
The Americans say schedule.
Schedule.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm not doing it the other way around, but at least one I know they pronounce it schedule.
Schedule.
And the other one is schedule.
Schedule.
The one,
if I knew it could be saying schedule.
Yeah, but I believe the British say schedule, the one that you pronounce it, and the Americans say schedule.
Okay.
What is your favorite English idiom?
Okay, like every cloud have a silver lining.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Lining, yes.
Okay, what
Yeah.
does that mean? What is the meaning behind that message?
That's a powerful idiom because it means a lot about God's actions, God action in our life.
Okay.
Because God acts in a way that we don't even imagine. Okay, from scratch can take you high. Okay, can raise you from where people are not able to sense. Like, no, this one won't be a great man, but it can help you. It can help you in order to grow.
Okay.
God is amazing. It does things in amazing way, in unexpected ways.
Right.
Okay. For example, maybe I was not supposed to be a teacher, but here I am. I'm teaching today.
Good. Every cloud has a silver lining.
Lining.
Good.
Effect.
What is your favorite English song or lyric?
Okay. Because I'm listening to it right now, it could be Dear Alcohol. Yeah,
Dear
because
Alcohol.
when I looks on the comments of that music, I saw people like giving the testimony how they overcame that addiction of alcohol and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's powerful. Dex is a good singer. Yeah, and he's a Christian.
That's your favorite. I know for your students, don't tell me, you already told me. Your students love Ed Sheeran with Perfect as the title.
In fact.
Number 4, second last. What is your favorite English book or author?
I like to read the Bible. I read it in English, and it's good. It's good. As I'm a Christian, it's good also to read some books that related to my belief. Yes.
They say the Bible is the mother of all books.
All books.
It covers a multitude of topics and areas.
And if you read Proverbs, there are a lot of quotes that you hear somewhere to know this from the Bible.
That is good. That's good.
Yeah.
And the last one, what is your favorite English accent?
Yeah, that's really complicated question. That's complicated question. But I guess recently I can say American.
American accent.
American, but I used to join sometimes British and American, yes.
That's good. That's good. Well, that was with the 5 faves, the 5 favorite things by Mr. Clayton, or AKA Tio Boas. Tio Boas, it was a pleasure to have you around in the studio today. And you are always welcome to come back anytime you wish. Maybe one day you might come with some of your students to come and give, like a bright testimony about the things that you guys do in your classrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was also a pleasure for me to join to have this amazing conversation.
Right.
And it was really amazing. I learned the words in the etymology quest.
Right.
Yeah, it was amazing. So I need to search more in order to know some words.
Good.
That it motivated me to learn.
Good. Any final words to people who are watching? This time around, you can look at the camera and just final message.
For those interested in learning English, I could say start it today. Start it today. Today is the day. Don't let it for tomorrow, another day. You can learn if you have no money or to pay for a course. You can use the technology in order to learn English. There are a lot of ways. If you've got a mobile phone, use it to learn English. The memes, even the memes you are here listen or watching through on Facebook, you can watch it in English. You can look for pages in English. It will help you developing your English learning or process of learning. So learn it today. Don't let it for tomorrow. Today is your day.
Thank you. Never let things off for tomorrow. Tomorrow may never come.
Well, thank you so much to our viewers out there. Just remember that education is a collective effort. Whether you are a teacher, you are a parent, you are a policymaker, remember that your actions and words count. Together, we can transform the way how education is conducted in Mozambique. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe for more future episodes of Chat Desk Unplugged with me, Tim Alfredo, right here on Mindcast TV. Stay safe, stay tuned, and of course, keep learning, keep curious. Ciao.